Hello, you out there, anywhere you are on this planet. My name is Uche Onyebadi, and you are welcome to Cross Cultural Experience, where I invite somebody who must have left his or her cultural environment, traveled somewhere, has an experience, and then is very, very willing to share that experience, especially what he or she, learned from that. Yeah, because our world is very wide and things happen differently from wherever it is that we come from. And so today I have Neelam, who will now introduce herself, and then we can go on from there. Neelam, you're welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Uche. Thank you very much for having me. It's my pleasure to be here.
Namaste, namaste.
Namaste. Yeah, namaste. And as you can see from my attire, I am
Yes,
from India. So I made it very visible that I'm actually from India. So
correct.
my name is Dr. Neelam Sharma. I'm Associate Professor of Communication and Journalism in Idaho State University. I'm also the director of the grad program. And I teach classes in journalism, media, effects, research, and some grad level seminars here. I did my PhD at Colorado State University, Fort Collins, which is not very far from where I am currently. So I'm in Pocatello, which is in the southeast corner of Idaho. So we are very close to Salt Lake City. And I graduated from Colorado State University, which is about 7, 8 hours south from where I am.
Okay. Is there
So,
any reason you've chosen the coldest part of the United States? Colorado and
uh,
Idaho?
well, you're not the first person to ask it, Uche. So well, I think it's a privilege that I've been living in the mountains for 15 years now, but there is a reason. And because I got married
Okay.
to somebody who was to start school at Colorado State University.
Okay.
Uh,
Now
I,
I understand.
yeah, so I accompanied him basically. I didn't come as a student. I come as
Okay.
a student spouse.
Okay. All
And
right.
it so happened that the school, Colorado State University, also had a PhD in journalism. And I was actually working as a journalist in India. So when I came here in the US, I was still working as a journalist. So I came on leave. So,
Okay. All right.
yeah. And I was an accredited journalist with the Times of India and the Indian Express, the two leading newspapers in India. And I was like an active journalist in the field. I didn't know anything about PhD. I never thought I will do any more studies, after I was done studying. And but as we all know, life has its own way, and
Okay.
we have destiny. So I that's the reason why I actually went to Colorado State. So it's very
Okay. All
funny.
right. Yeah. Does that have anything to do with the experience you want to share?
Yeah, maybe. Yes, sure.
Okay, just go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead and share your
Well,
experience.
because my entry into the US was very interesting. I didn't come as a student as many people come, right?
Yes, yeah.
I came here as a student spouse. And my husband was doing his PhD in computer science, which actually meant that he had to spend long hours in his department.
Oh, okay.
And as a young bride with nothing to do at home, I would accompany him to his campus. And I would sit outside his classes because I didn't know anybody. I didn't know anything here. I didn't know how
Oh,
to, I was a dependent, right? So I couldn't do anything. So I would just accompany him on the campus. He attending his classes and I sitting outside.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
And
not in the cold, not in the cold, eh?
but
Okay,
what is
go
very
ahead.
interesting is that as a new bride in India, we wear, red bangles. I don't know if you have seen this in Indian movies.
Yeah, yeah.
2 dozen in one hand. So
Okay.
I would
Okay.
sit like this outside, and many people would stop in the hallway and ask me, "What is this? Why are you wearing these?" And I had to explain everybody that I got married only 3 weeks ago, so I'm supposed to wear this for 6 months. So big
Oh,
bunch of red bangles, and that's the start of my journey in Colorado. Um, Talking about your cultural experience,
yeah.
now that you understand my situation, while I was in the
Okay,
US
go ahead. Go ahead. I
and
understand it.
as a new newlywed.
Right.
I, I we actually were hosted by an American family here in
Oh,
the
okay.
US
All right.
for a month. That was part of the university program, but the couple, they were old couple, retired couple, and they were not affiliated with the university. So it was a program where they hosted us,
Yeah.
and it was actually a cultural exchange program. So that was very interesting. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and it was very interesting because they've never had anybody from India. That's one big piece of the story. And we had never lived with a white couple before.
Okay.
And I think that when we look back at our life and how we started in the US, we actually think that was the most beautiful part of our journey here in the US. And
Ah, okay. That's nice.
yeah, I mean, the
Right.
things that we learned in 1 month, we would not have learned in a year. And we got very close to the family. They were retired teachers, school teachers,
Mm.
and they were very keen. What I really liked about them was that they never adhere to any stereotypes that we learned from the movies or, you know,
Ah,
like when
okay.
you are growing up in India or countries like those and you have no connection with the people in America, you tend to form an image of Americans based on popular media, big
Okay.
broken families, cuss words, whatnot, whatever they show. And the family that we were with were very family oriented family, highly educated people, well placed.
Mm.
They were very curious to know about our culture. But the thing was that they did not. So they would always ask us very funny questions.
Okay.
Um,
My ears, I'm listening.
I mean, see, what's interesting to understand is that stereotypes run both sides, right?
That is absolutely correct.
Not,
Yes.
there's nothing wrong per se with that. I am personally never offended. I'm always ready to talk to people. So, for example, our religion, they would watch a documentary where people are doing some weird things and they will come up and they'll say, "Do you guys do that? Do you guys worship or eat rats?" So, I don't
Yeah.
know where that was coming from, but she would just every day come up and she will talk very weird things. Actually, what was happening in 1 month of her preparation of hosting us is that she was watching a lot of documentaries
Okay.
on India. And she was trying all that information that she was getting from those documentaries on us. She even tried to cook Indian food for us based on all the
Oh,
things that she was watching and everything. So that was very interesting, I think, to learn living with them. We became very good friends after that. But the thing is that some of the peculiarities that people pick about another culture based on some popular media, it
yeah.
half-baked knowledge that once you start living with people, then you understand what is the real thing. She was very curious about our marriage. Mine was an arranged marriage, so I did not know my husband.
Okay.
Met him a month before my marriage. And in 3 weeks, I was in a different country. She could not, the woman, she used to spend a lot of time sitting with me because I had nothing to do. Then, so me and we used to spend a lot of time. She, for God's sake, she could not come around to understand that people can marry when they don't know each other.
Oh, okay.
Kept on asking me this thing in 3 or 4 different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, did your families know? I said, no, our families didn't know. We just met, we got married. And this whole idea of marrying somebody whom you don't know, whom you just met, and you move to another country with that new person, this whole idea was so new to her that she took me with her to her family friends and started telling my story to everybody. How did she meet? How did she meet? Do you know how did she meet? Like three, four, five people. She would take me in the evening to her friend's place in the neighborhood, and she would start.
Yeah. But wait a minute. She wasn't telling it in a malicious way. It's just as a matter of curiosity. Is that
It
correct?
was as if
Yes.
I married under very unusual circumstances. So she will
Okay.
take me to her friend's place and she will
Yes.
tell people, she married someone she had never met before.
All
She,
right. Okay. Just hold it there. I'm very, very curious now. This is a time when we didn't have the internet. Was that correct? Is it correct?
when we did
Bec-
not have
well, I mean, the internet thing was
no,
not right. Because
social media was not very big.
correct, because I'm asking, because these days, even people in the US, they meet online and get married the next day.
Oh my God, she was like she made and imagine me as a new
Yeah,
bride wearing 2 dozen red bangles on each hand. She would
yes.
take me to her neighbor's house. She would say, "Count her bangles, see how many she's wearing," and then she will narrate my story to them. And
Oh,
it was great. I used to. I mean, I had a lot of Indian clothes also, and they were very curious. I just find it so cute, Uche, that that imagine a retired school teacher. She had a
yes.
degree, right? And she had this childlike enthusiasm to learn about
Oh,
I'm I mean that was the sweetest thing. Nothing that she did was out of any ill will.
ill will. Okay, that's good. That's good to know.
Yeah, and it was that she was genuinely curious. She, I think, genuinely liked me. She genuinely liked my story.
Yeah,
She was so she was so surprised, or she was so happy to know that people like us exist.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I think it was one of those. We ended up having a great relationship, and her husband died a few years ago. She
Oh,
moved with her daughters.
are you still in touch with the lady?
Yeah, we are, but she's
Oh,
quite old. But
oh,
I am in touch with her daughters who are in their
okay.
60s.
And then she was just telling the story, with a good heart, and then say, come on, see. Yeah, but the interesting thing was that she was learning
Oh,
as
yeah.
you were learning too.
Yeah, and then she actually we had a very good relationship
Okay.
because she liked the fact that I'm very educated and I left my job. These things, some things that are very common in our culture, but they aren't so common. So she liked the fact. Then we started cooking together. So that is where
Oh,
we bonded, as
okay.
men. And and she was actually like a mother to me because I was newly married and she
Yes.
taught me about marriage.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
And that's what you learned from that experience. Is that
Yes.
correct?
About because there is one way to connect with people at a cultural level, cultural
Yes.
things. But then there's another dimension, and that is gender. Of
Yeah.
woman. So once you cross one barrier, you are connected by another thing.
Right. Right.
Irrespective of race, age, she was much older than me,
Yeah.
and definitely the culture that we grew up in. I think we bonded very well as women, as
Okay.
spouses of men. And I think that really taught me. I think what it taught me, which is I started viewing people as people. That was the biggest big.
That is correct. People as people,
Yes.
not people as the other.
As
Okay.
yeah, labels that we carry, and
Okay.
the biggest learning, and I have talked about this at other places also.
Yeah.
I do talk about stereotypes, for example, in my classes, and stereotypes exist. They should exist. They exist for a reason. They
Yes.
impact us. But then at the same time, stereotypes exist on both sides,
On both sides, yes.
and we have to acknowledge our stereotypes also. And
You
once
remind me.
we acknowledge
You You remind me something. I remember when I think it was in the US also. Somebody told me, "Oh, you speak with an accent." I said, "Yeah, you too."
Yeah, you do. Exactly. And once you have that perspective in life,
Right.
everything changes because you're like a person. I'm
Yeah.
not superior, I'm not inferior to you. I'm a person. And I think that that's the biggest. And I'm very happy that that experience happened in the first months. Because
Yes.
we observed that family very closely. We observed the family values. We realized that underneath, it's the same. So I think the approach towards America as a country changed for us by that experience. Had,
Okay.
had we not had that experience, I think it would have been more challenging and a more long drawn process for us.
Adjust to the environment you found yourselves.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a very good story. Especially the where she will take you to her friend and say, "This is an arranged marriage," and she could
Yeah.
not understand what it meant.
She did not know her husband a month before. She didn't know. I'm like that. It happens. It's very common. It used to happen in the US also, right?
Yeah. You
But
know, I also met an Egyptian who told me the same thing. And I also met somebody from Kuwait, who told me exactly the same thing. So, I mean, it's when I mean, I'm from Nigeria, originally from Nigeria. So I know that it's happened. So until you get to meet people who are different, who have different, live in different cultures, certain things sound so strange, to you. But
and
your experience was when you got closer to the lady, you discovered that, I mean, people are people, as you said.
yeah.
All right.
And
Is
then it
it?
was also very interesting because so many weird I don't know how to describe it, but her daughter's daughter, like her granddaughter, she
Yes,
was a young adult in her early 20s, very
yes,
woman, but she had moved out, right? So she was living independently.
right.
And these women were talking that that granddaughter of theirs, she is living with a man who is alcoholic, drug addict, doesn't have a
Oh,
career, etc. I mean, all those, things that.
right, 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 right.
And I was sitting thinking on one of those visits, how can they allow this, They are
Yeah.
parents. How can they allow this? Why don't they just simply get the girl home? I'm like wearing my Indian hat and I'm thinking like that. And they
Her
are
back
looking
home.
at me and they're thinking like, how can you marry somebody whom you don't know? And I'm
Yeah.
thinking, how can you send your granddaughter to live with a man? Why don't you simply bring her back? Use your parent power. How can you allow this to happen? So it's like, this whole conflict of,
Right,
like, what would you do in a situation if your granddaughter is stuck with a man who you don't want in the family?
right.
And then
Ah,
you see, and I was like feeling sorry for them, and I'm like, you are so powerless. You have no power. Indian parents have so much power.
so much.
Get the girl back.
Bring her back home.
Why are you discussing this? And I was like so surprised they're discussing this in front of me. They're
Right.
not able to do anything about it. Then I went home and I told my husband, you know what? They can't do anything about it. They can't ask their granddaughter to come home. So it's weird, but then you learn, that it's different, right?
People are different.
Are different, but they have the same concerns.
Yeah, I want to thank you for your time and then the knowledge what we're taking away from this discussion is people are different, but at the end of the day, just like you said, people are still people
Yeah.
across cultures and all that. So thank you again, and I want to wish you well with your students. I hope you tell them such stories so that they know that things are different some other places.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thanks again, and then enjoy the rest of the day.
You too. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye.